Hi and welcome back. So we are now almost ready to go. We have our site set up. We have a great customer experience waiting for our first customers to come in the door. We've got our membership site set up. We've got our sales page set up. We've got our payment link going. And we've installed all of the plugins. We've configured them. And we got ready to launch by testing. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to do a final check. We're just going to go ahead and take a look at everything that we've done so far. And what we're going to do is just go through it as a customer would, just to make sure that we have everything that we need. So let's take a look at the front page. Now, obviously, you're not going to have demo 123 up here. You're going to have your either your website name or your company name or something like that. You have your front page with your sales letter. You've got a nice headline. You've got some body copy, and you've got your subscribe button. So we're all good there. Let's take a look at our members area here. We've got our content, and we've got our content protected so that nobody can come in except as a member. And if we take a look at the members area, we have a login screen, so members can easily log in. They can retrieve their password if they lost it. We have some navigation buttons here. We have a search box, but we don't necessarily need that search box, do we? Because we have one up here. So let's remove that. We can keep recent posts in there because we want to be able to show people what we have as far as content for our membership site. You can leave archives as well if you want to show how much content there is in the membership site. We don't have very much right now, so we may want to remove that. We have categories. We can keep categories if we plan on having several different ones. And the meta links, we may want to get rid of those completely. We don't want to distract anybody from leaving our site. We want people to stay on the site. So let's go ahead and log in and make some changes to these side widgets. We're just going to go to our dashboard and our widgets. And we're going to get rid of that search box. All we have to do is delete that. We're going to get rid of comments for now because we don't have any, but we might put it up later as we grow our membership. We're going to keep the categories for now, and we want to get rid of the meta. We just don't want those links on there. Okay, let's take a look and see where we are. Now if we click members, and it's a much cleaner looking sidebar, and we still have our search available for members. I think we're looking good. All right, we're all set now. Now, the first thing you need to understand when launching a website or a membership site is that people rarely go to your sales page on their initial visit. It sometimes happens, but most of the time what you want to do is build a relationship with either prospects or former customers first, and then let them know that you have this membership available. So if you have a list already, you would send them directly to this page. And if they've been a customer of yours in the past and they like what you had, if they like your products and they like your newsletter, then a percentage of those will sign up for your membership. Now, there's another way too, because if you're just getting started and you have no list, you need to be able to bring people into your list, warm them up a little bit, let them get to know you, and then send them to your sales page. So even though this is all ready to go and you could drive traffic directly to this page, it's probably a better idea to capture their email addresses first, send them some newsletters, let them get to know you, and then offer this. So what we want to do is create a similar domain, but not on the same domain. So we want to create a capture page or a squeeze page that introduces you to people who are visiting your site for the first time. Now we want to put it on a separate domain for practical reasons. Number one is if you do get very good at buying traffic, you want to be able to send that traffic to a separate domain so that you can keep track of your statistics. You want to know where your traffic is coming from. You want to be able to measure conversions and so forth. So as a practical matter, we'll put our squeeze page on a separate domain. I have a domain all ready to go right here. And what I'm going to do, and you can see it's a very similar domain. This is copy to learn, and this is learn to copy. So what we're going to do, it's very similar domain, but different. And like I said, there's practical reasons for it too, because if you're driving traffic to this domain, you don't want your members to have a slower experience. It's all about the customer experience. When customers go here, they want to find out what's going on. They want to be able to read your sales letter, and members want to be able to get access your membership site without the site being too slow, because maybe you're buying traffic that day and you've got hundreds of people visiting your site. So we want to go on to a separate domain for that practical reason. But also, like I said, you want to be able to use the domain as a way to measure your traffic and conversions. So if people just came to this page and you had no sign-up link, I mean, you could put a sign-up link in here, but it's distracting. Generally, what you want to do is you want to direct people to a single action on a page that you drive them to. So in this case, the single action is to subscribe. This entire site is designed to get people interested in your membership and to sign up. The purpose of a squeeze page is to get people to visit that page and sign up as a free subscriber to a newsletter or to some special report or something else that you might want to give away. Now, we could set up a WordPress site here, and that's a lot of people do that. They set up a WordPress site, give away a lot of free information, have a sign-up form, either an Aweber sign-up form or GetResponse or whatever autoresponder service you're using, form on the site and have them log in. But a simple way to do it, and especially if you're going to be driving a lot of traffic, is to set up a simple squeeze page. Okay, when you first open up SeedMonkey, it's a regular browser, so you can actually browse the internet with it. But down in the left-hand corner, it has a little button right here called Composer. All you have to do is click that button, and the Composer window opens up. It's really easy to use, and I love using it because you can actually just type whatever you want, and that is what will show up on your web page when you're ready to FTP it to your site. So what you want to do is just, I like to center, I'm going to put in a headline. Now, our headline is how to increase your brain power. So what we might want to do is simply create something called how to increase your brain power. So it's related at least to what we're selling. And then what we're going to do is have people sign up. See how easy that is to increase the size of your text. And you can also change the colors very, very easily. And it's all in real time. All right, so we're going to keep that as our headline, and then what we're going to do, we're going to call this a free report for a limited time. Yeah, we want people to opt in right away, so we're going to call it a free report for a limited time. Now what we want to do is put in our JavaScript. I just want to put in a little bit of a placeholder here. And down at the bottom, you have a number of different windows that you can open. We want to take a look at the HTML source. I left that placeholder there called Java. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to Aweber and get the JavaScript that we need, our email capture form. So I went to Aweber and I created a very simple little form. And all I want to do is copy the JavaScript right here, the script that they gave us. And we're just going to go ahead and copy that. And then we're going to open up our Composer window, and we're going to paste it right into that placeholder that we put in there called Java. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and save this, and we're just going to call it index. And I'm just going to save it to my desktop. And now, because for some reason this form does not show up on it doesn't show up in Composer, the JavaScript doesn't show up. But all we have to do is close this out, and let's double click on index, and there we go. So now we have a very simple capture page. Obviously you'd want to put a little bit more information in here, but you have the basics of what you need. So we're going to upload it to the site, using FTP, and then we'll take a look and see what our site looks like. Okay, I've used FTP to bring that page up to the site. So now all I have to do is refresh this page, and we have our capture page. So now, like I said, you're going to want to put a little bit more information in there, but you have your capture page, you have your web form there, you can put some additional information in here, but this is where you want to drive your traffic. You want to drive it to this another domain besides your membership site. You want to be able to develop a relationship with your subscribers, and the way to do that is through a squeeze page such as this. Now you can make it real fancy if you want to. You can include a video of yourself, and you can talk about how to increase your brain power. You can create a webinar and put a webinar sign-up form on here. But the idea is to capture the interest and the information from your prospects before they become customers, before you drive them to your membership site. The membership site is all ready to go, and it should work on autopilot for us, but we want a way to capture especially people who don't know us and have never met us for the first time, don't know anything about us. It's almost a certainty that if you drive people to your membership site, the way we have it set up here for the very first time, they are not likely to buy. In fact, 99.9% probably won't buy. And if you want to, you could put an email capture form on this page. For example, the JavaScript that we just got from our Aweber account, we could actually include it on our sales page. So for example, let's go to our sales page, and let's say someplace in the middle, to get a free report, fill out your email below, and we can put in the JavaScript. And we want to make this a little bit bolder. And we want to center this. And we want to update that, and then we can view the page. And when we scroll down, you can see that right in the middle of the page we have our opt-in form. So you can do it that way if you want to, but what happens when you fill out your email address in here and you hit submit? It actually takes you to Aweber or another page of your choice. My suggestion would be to have it redirect back to your sales page, because you want people still to be able to read the rest of your sales page. But as far as I'm concerned, it's the fact that you're putting this in the middle of your sales page is a distraction, number one. And number two, when people fill it out, they're taken away from this page. So I don't suggest putting it in your page at all. My suggestion is to have a separate squeeze page on a separate domain that you can drive all the traffic to that you want. You can use CPV, you can use pay-per-click, you can use social networks, you can use whatever you want. But when you drive traffic, at least you really want to limit the number of options people have. And if they come to your page and they like what you have to offer and they're interested in the free report, then they'll fill out their email address. And I would not suggest asking for more. Some people ask for name, first name, last name, and email address. But for most people who are visiting you for the first time, since they don't know who you are, email address alone is enough, because it's a commitment that they're making to trust you with their email address for the very first time. And some people are reluctant to do that. But if you're only asking for their email address and not their name, they might be willing to do it. So drive all your traffic here. And then when you have a newsletter, either that you write through Aweber or GetResponse, then send them to your sales page. and your conversions will be much, much higher because now they get a chance to know you a little bit and understand what your site is all about. So what I'm going to do now is give you my favorite places to advertise online. And if you have no subscribers, and there's a couple of free ways that you can do it. But generally, if you're trying to build a real business and you want to increase the amount of subscribers and members and paid members to your website, then eventually you're going to get into paid advertising. For free advertising, basically you can go to forums and participate in forums in your niche. So if there's forums on how to increase your brain power, you certainly want to be visible there with a link back to your squeeze page for your free report that people can download and subscribe to your newsletter. You also want to be able to participate in social media networks. You want to be on Facebook, you want to be on LinkedIn, and you want to be on Twitter. So once those free options, though, are basically have run out, and you can get to a certain point in your business with the free options, then you want to do something else. So one of my favorite places to advertise is with Archimax. Archimax runs news and entertainment. Actually, they have it right here, news and entertainment by email. They have a number of email businesses that they run, newsletters that they send to subscribers on a regular basis, and they're in all different categories. So it doesn't matter what you're selling. I'm sure you're going to be able to find a category that you'll be able to advertise in order to drive traffic to your website. So what you want to do is when you go to Archimax, just scroll down to the bottom, and you want to look for the link that says advertise with us. You want to click on that, and then you want to find the content directory. So you can go over here and take a look at some of the content directory to kind of get an idea of what kind of publications they are sending out to subscribers. They have advertising-oriented newsletters, which I do not recommend. Circulation is very large. It's over 1 million. However, these are standalone sponsored emails, and in order for these to really work for you, you need to have a squeeze page that does really, really well. So you must test, tweak, boost the conversion of any squeeze page that you're using before you advertise. I'm not saying not to advertise in this section. You can get great results, but you need to have the conversion as high as possible. And then there's daily free sites by newsletter. These are like, if you're giving something away, if you want people to subscribe to, free reports or coupons or giveaways of some sort, you can advertise in there. I don't recommend that one at all, not even if you have a good converting squeeze page, because generally they're freebie seekers and you want people who are willing to pay for your membership. And then they have a lot of editorial. They have comics and cartoons. We can take a look at the health and fitness and just look at a sample of this. Basically, it's on their website, but this is sent out by email to their subscribers. And you can see that they have a little ad. In fact, it's and this ad is actually a money-making ad here. Let's click on that, and it goes to a squeeze page. So people who advertise on, the Archimax understand that it's absolutely critical to have people opt into their email address so they can follow up later. So you can study, what people are doing to advertise on Archimax now, and then you can always go through all of the categories in Archimax and take a look at all of their different newsletters that they send out by email. And this is a great source for anyone who is interested in advertising online by advertising in the newsletters that go out to subscribers for Archimax. It is a little bit expensive, so be prepared. You must really have your website working very well and your squeeze page tested very well before you actually sign up for any advertising with Archimax. That's my recommendation. Okay, let's go to my second favorite source of advertising in building your list, and it's called Safe Swaps. Now, Safe Swaps is primarily geared towards the internet marketing community. So if you don't have an offer in the internet marketing community, either advertising, marketing, small business, online marketing, or something like that, it may not appeal to you. But it does allow you to purchase solo ads as well as swap ads with other people who have lists. And what happens is you send out an email on behalf of the other person. They send out an email on behalf of you. Their subscribers go to your squeeze page, and your subscribers go to their squeeze page, but thereby swapping email addresses with and subscribers with them. It's a free way to actually, increase your list. And they also, you can also buy solo mailing. So if you don't want to send out offers on behalf of other publishers, you can also purchase solo mailings to build up your list. Okay, the third source of traffic that I like is called Lead Impact. And Lead Impact is a cost per view traffic source. So in other words, what they do is they have pop under and pop over ads that show up on websites all over the internet, and they can drive a tremendous amount of traffic. It does cost $200 to open an account with them, but that's all in paid traffic, so you can use that $200 towards your paid traffic. And the best thing about it is that the traffic is extremely inexpensive. So it's an effective way to drive traffic to your site very, very quickly. And it is inexpensive. You can get traffic less than 2 cents per view, and you can drive a lot of traffic very, very quickly. And finally, I'm going to give you one last tip, and that is if you really want to drive high quality traffic to your site, you can't do better than this, and that's direct buys on websites that are at the top of the market. So for example, if we're looking at sites in our category of how to boost your brain power, what we want to do is we want to take a look at the top sites in that category for those keywords. And so lifehack.org is a well-known site. Let's take a look at that. Now it's showing up number 2 on Google, and so you know that they're getting a lot of traffic, and you can see that they have ads here. So they have ads. You can buy ads. It looks like some of the ads are going through Google AdWords, so you can buy Google AdWords and target this specific page. So for example, on this particular article, ways to increase your brain power, you could buy an ad specifically on this page, and it drives. You can have very, very high quality targeted traffic to your website. Now, it may not be a lot of traffic. However, if you set up a number of these ads on very high quality, on specific pages that are exactly targeted to your market, you can drive a lot of traffic. So there's lots of ways to drive traffic online to your membership site, into your squeeze page. Make sure you get them into your squeeze page first. That's going to be the goal, and then you can drive them to your membership site and get them signed up as members. Marketing online is all about conversion and numbers, and as long as you can get traffic that pays and converts well enough for you, then you can do very, very well. All right, I hope you enjoyed this series of how to set up 2-minute WordPress membership sites. I enjoyed it myself, and I want to thank you for staying with me for this entire series.